Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about region locking and why it's a bad thing when it comes to games. Now what you see here are 3DS games. Soul to Robo, a region locked DS game for the American region, Pokemon Soul Silver, a region free DS game, and a Japanese region locked game, Pokemon Black and White. Now let me give you a little backstory. Most companies don't region lock today. Microsoft, they stopped region locking with the Xbox One after a strong backlash with their initial policies caused them to change their minds. And they were semi-region locking on the 360. While many Western games were region free, many Japanese games were not. However, later on, Cave and stuff made more Japanese region-free games, so there's less of a reason to own a Japanese 360. Then, Sony made their PS3 before that, or around the same time. They made the PS3 region-free when it came out, and the PSP was region-free since day one as well. And this was done because many times portables have been region-free. However, Nintendo has been moving in the opposite direction. While the only region locking was with NTSC to PAL, with the GameCube, they added more region locking, and even though it was easily bypassable with the GameCube and the Wii, there's no bypass yet. And they've also added region locking, no bypass yet with the Wii U, and they've also added region locking with the handheld line. Now, so I've got these three games here to show you why region locking is a bad thing. First, I'm going to try putting the region-free American game into the 3DS. I'm going to turn on the 3DS. Now, both of these are American consoles. This is a Nintendo DS, and as you can see, I'm going to insert the game in here. Oh, look, this thing took forever to boot up. The American game plays fine on the DS. On the 3DS, let me show you. Yeah, this is slow because of the firmware updates. It pops up. And if I go to the Activity Log app, which they've added since the Wii for some reason, it does give you one useful feature. You can see that, let me go to Software Library, all the games. Okay, so, as you can see, Pokemon Platinum is also a region-free game. And earlier on, even though I've sold that game since, I was able to play it on the American 3DS, because it's a region-free DS game. Now, I'm gonna quit saving data and closing software. Now, because it says NTR, this is a region-free game. As after all, on the DS, it says NTR001. Now, this is because the DS is region-free. However, in about, I think, 2009, 2008, somewhere along that time, I forget exactly which year, Nintendo made the DSi, and this was controversial. Why? Well, for various reasons. It added updatable firmware to lock out flash carts. It removed the second DS slot, so you couldn't plug in Game Boy games or play games like Guitar Hero or use Rumble Packs. It also had other side effects, such as pretty much causing games to be region locked. Now, Nintendo decided to add region locking with the DSi. With the 3DS, even though people were complaining when Pokemon Black and White wouldn't play on their DSis, and I'll show you this later, even though there was backlash like that, they didn't do a thing, because the 3DS is still region locked. So if you want to import a game like Shin Megami Tensei like Shin Megami Tensei 4, you'll have to get a Japanese, or American 3DS, depending on which one you want, if you live in Europe, because it's not out yet. So let me show you a region lock game on a DS and a 3DS. As you can see here, boots, sees the game. However, you'll notice the icon is not animated. Now, 3DS games, DSi games, from what I know, have animated icons. So I'm going to plug it into the 3DS. As you can see, the game icon is animated. If I play the game on the 3DS, I will also get features not available on the DS, such as a camera function. And this is pretty much stated on the box, that the game uses DSi functionality. But now, here's where the region locking kicks in. When Nintendo released Pokemon Black and White, because of long release schedules, which one of the good things of X and Y is they've narrowed them down, so now they come out at the same time, but too bad X and Y was crap anyway. With this, people would import the game months ahead. And when they did this, they quickly found with their DSIs that the game wouldn't play. Now, even though this is a TWL game, Nintendo DS has no region locking and is still a region-free console. And if you play a DSi game on a DS, this is an American DS, by the way, keep in mind, it says here, CNTR USA 1. As you can see here, it works. I can even get, and I'm even going to boot the game up to show you, because as you can see, it's loading. Too bad Black and White sucked too, but in the game, but now I'm going to pop the game into a 3DS. Now let's just say you also bought the game while you were overseas in Japan or Europe, and you wanted to buy a game to play on your handheld console. Like, you wanted to play some Pokemon, learn Japanese or something. Help with that. You'd put it in, lo and behold, you'd get this. Dead as a doornail. Empty. Now, putting the game in and out. The game is region locked. And I know this because first time I'll put it in on a DS, the contacts aren't dirty. I'll put it into a DS first time, it'll boot. At 3DS, it won't see it no matter what I do. I can resert it over and over and over again, it won't boot the game whatsoever. This is because Nintendo added a region lock to the 3DS, and all 3DS games are region locked. Even though there weren't very many DSi only games, if a game says TWL, it's region locked. So if you want to play that copy of Pokemon that you bought in Japan on your American DS, too bad. However, Sony handhelds are all region free, along with Microsoft and Sony consoles, especially the Xbox One, PS4, PS3. Many 360 games are region free, which makes you wonder why they do this in the year 2013, and this should be removed. Look at Operation Rainfall. Look at all the backlash because you couldn't, unless you modified your Wii with Homebrew Channel, you couldn't play a European bought copy of Xenoblade or Last Story or Pandora's Tower at all. You couldn't, because of region locking. And this is why region locking is a bad thing. You're legally paying for games. There's no law against it yet, or at all, so far as I'm aware. People import music CDs all the time. People import, music CDs, they're region free because there's no region coding whatsoever on a disc. DVDs have region locking, but there are ways to get past that easily, like VLC, and there are some legal region-free DVD players, but considering this, it makes you wonder why Nintendo region-locked their console. Because all I see is a bad thing. This is region locking, and this is bad for gamers. It's bad for consumers. It doesn't help anybody, especially if a game never comes to America or Europe or wherever. It does not help at all. And it should be removed with the 3DS. They could issue a title update to the DS, 3DS, and DSi. I mean, firmware update, not title update, but they could issue an update to it that would remove it. And they should, because all in all, the 3DS needs to get rid of region locking. The Vita doesn't have it, the PSP doesn't have it. So why does the 3DS when the original DS didn't have it? Thanks for watching, subscribe for more. And one more thing I thought I'd mention. There is no way on the back of these packaging, to know if they're region locked. It says here for sale and use only in America because that's where it's intended to be sold. But it says the same on the region locked games as well. Which makes you wonder why it's even like this. Because the only way you'll know this is region locked is because it says it has DSi functionality and it has TWL. Not NTR. And this is the thing with Nintendo. They're not even clear with telling you the game's region locked. At least with PlayStation, they'll tell you so and so only for NTSC. With Xbox, even though most games aren't region locked, especially Western ones, they'll say for use with American consoles only because they designed it that way. With this, no way of knowing that it's region locked. I don't know if they do it on 3DS games or not, because I don't own any retail 3DS games as of now, but that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.